Hey there, and welcome to the webinar. Today, we are talking about understanding your ticketing data. So, the whole purpose of this webinar is for you to learn and to understand and to know what to even do with all the data that is in your event ticketing system. Regardless if you're using Fusion Tickets or a different platform, it doesn't matter. We're going to teach you today what to do with all of that ticketing data and understanding that ticketing data so not only you can make better informed decisions going forward, but also implement changes in the future and just know what the heck is this number stuff trying to tell us. My name is Jake Sperley. I am one of the co-founders here at Fusion. We are an event technology provider. I actually got my start in the industry by being a food vendor, and then I was also a fair manager working in marketing, booth sales, promotions, that sort of stuff. From there, I saw a need in the industry. Now I am running an event technology company. Enough about me. You've probably seen me on the internet, I'm sure. Let's get into understanding your ticketing data. So I think a big misconception here is that a lot of folks don't know what to do with it, or they don't even know that they have data. So to kind of lay the groundwork here, if you're using an event ticketing provider, you have a ton of data at your disposal already in there. I can't talk about every event ticketing software out there because I don't know what everybody has. So I'm kind of just going to go off of what we have, and hopefully your provider, has the same data in there. In our ticketing system, if you're using a ticketing system, if you're not using a ticketing system, you should probably hop on one at minimum just because you get all this data that you can use later. But in our ticketing system, we have a lot of data in there as far as how many tickets were sold, how many of each type of ticket was sold, where were they sold at, when were tickets redeemed, when were tickets purchased, when did tickets get scanned, where did tickets get scanned, what type of sales were they, in literally a plethora of data. And you could drive yourself crazy looking at all the numbers, every report, every abandoned cart, the whole thing. But I want to walk through, what do we do with that? So now you know what data is available for you. As I just mentioned, there's a ton of data that's in your system already that you could probably go run a report and find all this stuff. So just to kind of start, what does scanning? So if we go run a report, we want to look at scans, ticket scans. What does that tell us? So if we break it out by day and also by hour, we can see trends. What do trends help us do? They help us determine, one, staffing levels, two, entertainment, sessions, all that sort of stuff. So if we can kind of create a graph, we say, all right, on Wednesday, we see that 80% of our tickets are redeemed between 2 and 4 p.m. So that's when we need to have maybe 4 people in the box office. Compared to between 4 and 10 p.m., we only see 20% of our tickets being redeemed in. So it doesn't make sense for us to still have 4 people in the box office. Let's save some cost, and let's drop that down to maybe 2 people in the box office instead of 4, because just the demand isn't there. So what we're trying to do, what data does, data is like paint, and you are the artist. It is your job to take the data, the paint, figure out what is it trying to tell me, and then paint a picture with all of the data in the paint that you have available to you. That's what scanning can do. We can kind of see the peaks of when the most people come. We can then use that to adjust our staffing levels. We can also see, different times. Maybe we notice, again, let's say 12 to 2 is the busiest times. Maybe we want to have a nice headlining entertainment at, 2:15 or 2:30, right after the big wave of people get in. Or maybe we know that we need to be cleaning bathrooms at 3 p.m. because 80% of our people just got there and they were there for an hour. Maybe we need to tell our vendors and exhibitors, hey, we see 80% of our people come in during this window. Buckle up. It's going to be a busy time. We want to make sure you're doing things right. Informing all your stakeholders, even your announcer, maybe security staff, this is when we see the majority of our people coming through. Let's bulk up here. We know what's happening. That's what we can do with scanning, our scanning data as far as tickets being scanned. Sales data. What does sales data tell us? Really what sales data tells us is how are our tickets selling, right? How many tickets do we sell overall? Um, how much of that was for ticket type A versus ticket type B. We can also see if you do ticket tiers, which I highly recommend you do ticket tiers. As the event gets closer, the price goes up. We can see and kind of depict, all right, our sales were $100,000, but from that, 25 was from general admission early bird, 10 was from general admission advanced, 10 was from general admission day of. And then we can see also VIP. Was it VIP? Was it general? I don't know, general VIP plus or reserve seating, whatever. I don't know what your ticket types are. Whatever your ticket types are, we can then analyze that data. Maybe when we're analyzing that data, we can come to terms and say, okay, we providing a VIP option for our attendees creates a ton of work for us, and we're only selling 10 tickets to it. Like, is this really worth our time to be creating this whole VIP experience? We're not selling that many tickets to it. Or on the flip side, you can say, look, we're only selling 10 tickets to our VIP. We need to really up the marketing on that so that we can sell more tickets to that. Understanding your sales data is probably one of the best KPIs, key performance indicators I advise events to look at. Are you selling? Are you making more money year after year? Are you selling your tickets at $10 and selling 1,000 tickets? So you're only making, what's that? $10,000? Or could we be selling tickets at $20 and only have 500 ticket sales so that you then make or another $10,000, right? Like, if we increase our ticket price, are we still going to be selling tickets? Because here's the thing. Sometimes you don't want a ton of attendees. You want the best bang for your buck. Like, what is that equilibrium? What is that kind of the perfect bell curve between charging just enough and demand being just right? I would rather sell a little bit less tickets and make more money than sell a ton of tickets and make the same amount of money if I could have just upped my ticket price. So understanding your sales trends and data and what that's telling you is super important, especially on the ticket tier level. Going into the source, most platforms you can look in and see, hey, where are our tickets even being sold at? One of the things that I've seen work well is creating, affiliates out of that. Are you buying this from somebody? If so, who? And then you can see, all right, well, we had Bobby selling tickets. We had Jamie selling tickets. Jamie sold 60. Bobby sold 5. Bobby didn't do very well. We're not going to have him sell tickets for us anymore. But understanding where you're selling tickets from is crazy important, because whether it's in the box office, online, affiliates, Google, like wherever it's from, it doesn't matter. But then you could, once you know what your hot selling sales channels are, you can double down on those. Maybe you notice that 90% of your ticket sales are coming online from a QR code poster that you put up around town, or a QR code link that you gave to all your sponsors and exhibitors. You can say, okay, wow, now that I know where people are buying from, I can now invest more energy and time into that channel. You might also figure out, hey, nobody is buying off of, I don't know, a random third party or from Google Ads or wherever. Say, all right, well, let's cut that and let's just invest more into what's working and double down on that. I think there's a great guy. His name is Chris Walker with Refine Labs. He talks about technology, and one of his favorite things to do is asking people, where did you hear about us? And with that, you get and have it an open answer question. Don't give them a drop down, just let them fill in the answer. Because now we know, how much data, not really data, but how much of our sales is coming from these different channels. And once we know where it's coming from, then we can invest heavier into it. From that, I think we can also then go into all of the codes, discount codes. Understand what do your discount codes mean? Are you doing a percentage off? Are you doing buy one, get one? Are you doing like $5 off? And see what codes were used. When were they used? Did the $5 off coupon perform better than the 10% coupon did? I would say probably, because people like free things. They don't like getting things just taken off like 20%. It's too common. You have to give them save $5 or buy one get one free, or buy a general admission ticket, get a free soda, or something like that. What discount codes are working better? When are those discount codes being used? A big thing in understanding your data is understanding when people are using things. Can we tell all of our discount codes are being used 5 days before the event? Are they being used 3 days before the event? Because then once we understand when people actually use the codes, then we can kind of fluctuate when we put out those discount codes, who we give them out to, what type of discount codes we use, all of the fun stuff there. Then going a step further would be zones. If you have multiple different areas to your zone, if you have multiple different areas to your zones, that made no sense. If you have multiple different areas in your event, excuse me, you can then go in and say, okay, maybe you have a general admission, a VIP, and like a backstage zone. You can then see at every point how many people actually scanned into the VIP zone, how many people actually scanned into the backstage zone. Once you know how many scans are at each zone, you can then do the same thing that I talked about at the beginning of scanning at the door of when are people coming in? When are they leaving? How many people do we actually need during these times based off of our historical data on scans? Other bit to all your ticketing data is you have all of their email addresses, phone number, name, location. You can get their zip code. You can ask whatever question you want. And I highly encourage you to be asking questions during checkout, whether it's before and required or if it's after. Ask the questions. The more data we can get, and one of my favorite marketers out there, his name is Matt Plapp with America's Best Restaurants. He talks about attracting an audience, building a database, and retaining your customers. That's his big thing, ABR. And with that, he's like, you have to know who's coming in your door. And with that, if you're not asking questions and all you're getting is their name and email address, that's a good first start. Like, if that's all you can do, then we'll take that. But if we can get more data, like when is your birthday? What city, or what's your zip code? What is your favorite part of the fair? Like, whatever it is, now we have this data that we can then do fun things with later. And so much of what I love doing with events and their data is taking their whole database of customers and figuring out what kind of marketing can we do to market to our existing people that have already purchased tickets in the past, to try and sell them tickets to our events in the future. So let's say you have everybody's birthday. You could send them a birthday email or a text message saying, hey, happy birthday. Would you mind sharing your favorite picture of you at the convention or of the fair or the rodeo, whatever it is? Or, post a picture of what you're doing on your birthday, and tag us, and we'll give you $5 off your general admission ticket this year. You can start doing those fun things. Or what was your favorite thing about the fair? And they say, oh, it's the food. Or what's your favorite thing about the expo? It's seeing that one vendor over in the corner. Then going forward, you can ask those different questions of, hey, notice your favorite thing to do at the fair was eat food. This month, we're doing a contest. Post your favorite picture with your favorite fair food. Tag us on Facebook and Instagram, and you'll be entered to win a chance for a family 4-pack to, free time at the fair next year, whatever that looks like. Then you can start sending them email and text campaigns, right? One of the things we want to prevent doing with our data and marketing is constantly having to rent audiences. What we want to do is take all of our existing emails, phone numbers, customers, take that database of people, all of our ticketing data really, and harvest that and continue to use that going forward. So with that, you can create email campaigns, leading up to the event. Get your tickets now, buy one, get one. Here's a special promo. Hey, thanks for buying in the past. Because you're a loyal customer, we really appreciate you. Here's $5 off when you purchase your ticket this year. Thank you. Tell your friends. SMS, get their phone number, send them a text email, or not a text email, that makes no sense either. make a text blast of, hey, fair's coming up 20 days away. This is what we're doing, XYZ. You can get yours today, buy one, get one free. Use this code for $5 off, whatever that might be. There is so much data that we have in our ticketing systems that, and again, I'm not asking, you events to go out and figure out all the data and go in and make all these different changes. I'm just saying, run the reports. Just spend an hour of it one time figuring out, what is this telling us? Like, what is the data trying to tell us today? I think once you try and just understand what the data is telling you, you can make better informed decisions. Whether you want to implement marketing with text and email, all that stuff, that's a different story. But I think just understanding your data gives you a competitive advantage. If you don't even want your event to grow, that's fine. Not every event wants to grow, and I'm not asking every event to grow. What I am asking is to just understand your event a little bit better. What are those peak times? Can you save some money by cutting staff when nobody's coming in the door? What does this look like to ultimately increase the consumer experience of your attendees at all times? Ticketing data is something I'm very, very passionate about because I see so many events just use a ticketing platform and they let it sit there until the next year when they want to sell tickets again. When there's so much that can be done with that data in a very little amount of time and very little amount of effort once you know what and how to do it. That is just about it for this episode, this webinar on understanding your ticketing data. If you have any questions, we're always happy to help answer them. You can leave a comment below, shoot us an email, hello@getfusionsolutions.com. Always happy to help answer those questions, especially questions in regards to understanding your ticketing data. Hope you found immense value in this. I really enjoyed doing this webinar. It's something I'm passionate about. Until next webinar, we'll see you later. Hopefully you have a good rest of your day. Keep selling tickets, keep rocking, keep getting it, fellow event organizers. See ya.